Hello friends! As you may know, scientists have been long making plans to revive some extinct animal species. However, as it turned out, the classification of extinct is not always 100% accurate, as people continue to report encounters with the so-called extinct animals. And in today's video, I will tell you about several cases when extinct animal species have been spotted. Eastern Cougar. The eastern cougar was declared extinct in 2011, which is rather strange given the large number of sightings afterwards. Sightings have been reported in nearly every state on the East Coast, and of course they happened after 2011, when the species was declared extinct. There are even entire websites devoted to sightings of this species in each given state. People in New Hampshire saw and photographed a cougar that officially couldn't be there. People have also found footprints, feces, and tufts of fur of these cougars, all of which are characteristic of non-extinct species. Therefore, the eastern cougar apparently didn't actually die out. Javan Tiger. The Javan tiger, as one might assume, live on the Indonesian island of Java. This tiger died out mainly due to hunting. The last official sighting of this animal was recorded in 1976. However, they were allegedly hunted during the entire decade of the 1980s. Thorough searches were carried out in the mid-1990s, which in 1994 led to the conclusion that the Javan tiger was extinct. Exactly 1 year later, there was an alleged sighting. In 1995, a Javanese forest ranger accidentally discovered a whole group of Javan tigers. Reports of sightings of these tigers continued to come until 2000. Batiri National Park, the place of the last encounter with the Javan tigers, is the stronghold of their survival. Activist Wahyu Giri Prasetyo is still finding evidence of their existence, such as excrement and tufts of fur. He firmly believes that the Javan tiger is not extinct. Of all extinct animals, the Javan tiger is the biggest contender for its species status to be changed. Woolly mammoth. A video of a bear with the fish in its mouth posted on YouTube caused rather a stir online. Netizens spent hours discussing it. Could woolly mammoths actually still be alive? But no one has seen them in over 100 years. Throughout the 20th century, that is. This may sound rather strange, considering the woolly mammoth became extinct as long as 4,000 years ago. However, in 1920, a Frenchman told an incredible story about his encounter with the creature in Siberia that exactly matched the description of the woolly mammoth. It was a huge elephant with large white tusks that were heavily curled. Its coat was a dark chestnut color, as far as I could tell. It had rather long hair on the back of the body and shorter on the front. I have to say, I didn't even know that such huge elephants existed. There was a second elephant next to it, and it was at least as big as the first one. Frozen mammoths were discovered in 1948, and their meat was quite well preserved. This, of course, isn't the best proof of anything. But given the vast expanses of Siberia, anything is possible. Mastodon. Mastodons became extinct about 11,000 years ago. According to one theory, they died out from tuberculosis. However, according to one incredible piece of evidence, they were seen quite recently, about 500 years ago. In the 1560s, an Englishman named David Ingram went to America. He traveled 3,218 kilometers through what is now the United States. He told fantastic stories about his encounters with Native Americans, about gold jewelry and fluffy elephants. That's right, he talked about seeing mastodons thousands of years after they had supposedly died out. His story would be quite easy to disregard, but he also provided detailed descriptions of the buffaloes and the general topography of the lands he visited. Of course, it has to be noted that unconfirmed reports of sightings of mastodons appear on the internet even nowadays. However, it is rather curious how David Ingram managed to describe the mastodon in such detail. He also had no reason to assume that they lived in the territories of both Americas. And at that moment, he couldn't have understood what exactly he was seeing. Chinese river dolphin. The Chinese river dolphin lived exclusively in the Yangtze River. These once numerous dolphins were doomed when the Three Gorges Dam was built and ship traffic on the river increased. The Chinese river dolphin was declared extinct in 2006. But then it was seen just a year later. A group of students led by scientist Wang Ding confirmed the sighting. This is great news for the survival of the genus. Unfortunately, these dolphins were only seen once. A large expedition that explored over 3,540 kilometers of the river gave no results. However, the Yangtze River is very long, so there is a chance that a couple of these dolphins still exist. Mexican grizzly bear. The Mexican grizzly bear lived in the territory between Mexico and the state of Colorado in the north. The last Mexican grizzly bear was thought to have been killed in 1964. That same year, this species was officially declared extinct. However, Mexican grizzly bears are still spotted in the wild sometimes. The North American grizzly bear's range is much further north, but some rather reliable sightings of these presumably extinct bears have been recorded in southern Colorado. Recently, there has been a surge in sightings of Mexican grizzly bears in their former habitats. Grizzly bears definitely live in these areas. The only question is, are they Mexican grizzly bears? A 1979 discovery conducted 15 years after the species was declared extinct found evidence pointing to the presence of these animals in Mexico. The evidence was the claw and paw prints. The study also found that some of the remote areas of Mexico made for a perfect habitat for the Mexican grizzly bears. Tasmanian wolf. The Tasmanian wolves were hunted as they were a threat to livestock. The loss of the environment also didn't have the most favorable effect on the population of this species, as the settlers gradually replaced these animals. The last Tasmanian wolf died in 1936. However, sightings of these animals are quite common. They have been spotted in Tasmania and Australia, although it's fair to say that none of these sightings have been scientifically verified. However, several people who reported encountering the Tasmanian wolf were sober and of sound mind. In 1979, a report came in from construction workers building a barrier on Lang Island. The workers spotted a Tasmanian wolf early in the morning. This is one of the several reports of daytime sightings of this extinct animal. There are about 12 more of such claims. Part of the confusion is that most of these reports come from Australia, where the species went extinct back in the 1800s. Japanese wolf. The Japanese wolf died out from the same reasons as other animals, at the hands of people, because it posed a threat to livestock. Despite its status as an extinct species, the Japanese wolf was spotted in 1910. And then it was also seen in the 1930s, and then again in the 50s. Moreover, this wolf was noticed in 1990. According to one theory, the animals seen by people were actually howling hybrids of dogs and wolves. This is certainly possible, but are they a breeding population? Or could it be true that a Japanese wolf is still roaming the wilds of Japan? Friends, that's all for today. Like the video, subscribe to our channel, and see you soon.